Hi, how are you? My name is Jade. This is my first motivating video, so please bear with me. I may trip over my words. It may not be as perfect as the other YouTube videos that you're used to seeing, but today I wanted to talk about listening to your intuition, as I think that most of us have trouble with doing that. And I just want to tell a little story about how when I didn't listen to my intuition and what I learned from not listening to my intuition. And when you don't listen to your intuition, you're definitely going to deal with the consequences. They're not going to be as bad, well, dependent on your situation, but um, everybody knows that this has been a crazy year. Like last year is when COVID hit and everything has been going ballistic. And I was working at a drugstore for a year. I just recently left, but yeah, I was working at a drugstore last year in April, and I liked the job when I first started. I really, really did. It was a great job. It was okay people. But by like the third month when I was there, I realized that it was something that I did not want to do anymore. I was just so tired of being around ignorant people. I worked with employees who were ignorant. They were gossipers. They were older than me, way older than me, but they act like they were like in high school. But anyways, and I just realized that I was tired of being at jobs that doesn't benefit me, and I was tired of doing things that wasn't my purpose, because I believe that we're all given a purpose once we enter this world, but it is up to us to find what our purpose is. So I was just so tired of working at places where I wasn't happy at and where I wasn't passionate at. I feel like if you're going to be someplace for years, you should definitely be happy, and it should definitely be something that you're good at. I think it's time that we should stop just settling for something just because it's a job and just because it'll give us money. Because you definitely should think about your happiness when you're trying to look for a career or a job. Because your happiness is very important. I think that we don't take a lot of recognition for that. We don't really pay attention to our happiness. We're always like, oh, as long as I have money, but it's like, no, your happiness is very, very important, and it should be very important to you because it is your happiness. But yeah, like I said, back to the story. Last year in June, I was very unhappy at this job. It was just crazy things happening. I can go down a list of things that were happening in that store, and my manager never seemed to care. She just never tried to fix any problems while being in the store. Even if you came to her about something, she just wasn't that concerned as a manager should have been, if that makes any sense. But yeah, so I was just afraid of leaving. And whenever you get like a gut feeling like go, because everybody has a feeling when we know when it's time to go. We all have a feeling when we know when it's time to leave something, whether it's a relationship or a job. But a lot of us, we don't take a lot of recognition. We don't listen to our intuition. We're so afraid of we're so afraid of being jobless and not having a second income coming in. We're afraid of change. Most of us are afraid of change because when you leave something that makes you unhappy, that's a step towards change. And a lot of us are afraid of change. And I'm not afraid of change. I was last year, but then I dealt with the consequences because I didn't listen to my intuition. And so, like I said, I was afraid of leaving because, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was very indecisive of what career I wanted to take. So I was very confused. I'm like, if I leave this job, what am I going to do? Like, where am I going to it's like, where do I see myself? And I was just so like agitated. But then, I dealt with the consequences. Ever since I didn't listen to my intuition, I have been dealing with constant disrespect from my employees and constantly disrespect from customers. And I'm like, at first I was like, why is this happening to me? What? And then I had to think like, well, Jade, this is happening to you because you didn't listen to your intuition. And this is the consequence of you not listening to your intuition. And when you do not listen to your intuition, you have to deal with the consequences because your intuition is always right. Don't ever think that your intuition is not right, because it is. It is a gut feeling that is given to all of us when something is not right. And that gut feeling that you feel is accurate. It's telling you that you need to get out of that situation, get away from that person, whatever, or whenever you feel that gut feeling on what situation you're in, depending on what situation you're in, you're supposed to always listen to it. And I've been the person who never listens to my intuition, whether it comes to people, jobs. I've always just been so hesitant when it came to my intuition, and I wonder why I always was left miserable or left unhappy, because I never listened to my gut feeling. And I'm just here to tell those out there that if they're just like me, who doesn't really listen to their intuition, you deal with the consequences and you never become happy, because your intuition was trying to make you happy by leaving something that didn't make you happy, but instead you rejected it. And it's not good when you reject your intuition, because you never know what's going to happen. So, and life is all about risk. Even if you are afraid of losing a job, if you're a great person and you do right by people, there's nothing to worry about. Eventually you're going to get something better. Like, whenever you leave something bad, the universe will always give you something better. When you close one door, the universe is going to open a brand new door for you with better opportunities and better possibilities. And you have to believe that. You have to believe that you deserve better. You have to believe that you deserve to have a happy life, because if you don't believe, then it's not going to ever happen for you. It all starts with your mindset and you listening to your intuition and you believing in yourself. Because if you don't believe in yourself, then how do you expect anybody else to believe in you? How do you expect new opportunities to come to you if you're rejecting it by not believing in yourself? And so you should always listen to your intuition. And trust me, I know sometimes you guys are like, is this right? Yes, your intuition is always right. It's never wrong. It's meant to be accurate. So if you have a feeling about leaving a job and you feel hesitant, don't feel hesitant. Just believe that you'll get something better, and believe that God has you and the universe is listening to you, and it gives you signs. And you have to believe in yourself, and you have to listen to your intuition. So short story short, I was at a job and I was very unhappy, and I stayed because I was, due to fear. And this year I was like, 2022 is coming. I got to get out of this job. I have to leave. I refuse to be someplace that makes me unhappy. And so that's what I did last week. I told my job, thank you for having me, but I think it's time for me to move on. And my manager, because she was just so ditzy, sorry to say, but it's the truth. She's like, oh, okay, whatever, I can't take it personally. And I told her, I was like, well, I'm not doing it for you, and I'm not doing it for you to take it personally. I'm doing it for myself, because I don't want to be unhappy. And that job was a place that I did not see myself staying at for 5 years. I'm 23 years old. I have my whole life ahead of me. I have no children. I have nobody depending on me. And this is the perfect time for me to do what I need to do, so that when it is time for me to have children, I have a decent career. I have a nice place for them to stay. I want to get myself on track before I even think about starting a family. But that's a whole nother topic. But anyways, yeah, so I just decided, whatever, fuck it. I didn't even have a second income. I'm like, fuck it. I'm leaving this, because I've been had this urge to leave, but I was so scared. And one day I was like, you know what, Jade, you have to face your fears. You have to stop being afraid of things. And I must admit, maybe I was afraid of change, like a lot of other people in this world. Maybe I wasn't, I was just afraid of what I was going to, like where I was going to be. So, but I took a leap of faith, and I'm like, hey, I'm leaving. I deserve better. I deserve to be in a better spot. And there were times where I never believed in myself, but as I got older, I started to believe in myself, because I started to realize that if I don't believe in myself, nobody else will. So, but you have to listen to yourself. Listen to your heart. You're not your mind, because your mind is always fidgeting with all these different thoughts, whether they're bad or good. Your mind is always talking. At least mine does. My mind is always talking. And so just listen to your heart. If your heart is telling you it's time to go, it's time for you to leave. Listen to it, because 100% is right. It's right 100%. It's 100% accurate, and you should always listen to your heart. And that's what I'm starting to listen to, because before I didn't, and wonder why I was in situations that I was in because I didn't listen to myself. I'm like, oh no, that's not. I'm having a little weird feeling. It's not a weird feeling. It's a great feeling. It's called your intuition, and it's time for you to listen to it. And so yeah, I just wanted to make this video for people out there who has trouble with listening to their intuition. There's nothing to be afraid of. When you're a good person and you do right by people, great things are always going to come by your way. So don't be afraid of change. Change is good. It opens door to new things. Don't you want to experience new things? I mean, I know I do. Don't you want to be around different people and see different things? That's what life is about. Life is about exploring and learning. It's not about being in the same spot for years, because you're never going to learn new things, and you're never going to evolve into the person that you were born to be. And I don't want to be that person. I'm not judging anybody. If you want to stay at a job like that, like I was at a drugstore, that's fine. That is what you want to do. But me personally, I just felt as though that wasn't something I wanted to do. I saw myself I want to become a motivational speaker. What I'm doing now, I'm trying to motivate people, because it's something I've been doing my whole entire life, and I haven't even noticed it. People I've met throughout my life always came to me with problems, and I always seemed to help them solve it. And that has to be a talent. That has to be a purpose of mine, because not a lot of people can come to people with their problems and they can help them solve it. I mean, I don't really want to say problems, because that sounds a little bit like negative, but if somebody was upset about something, I would I would give them advice, and they would say, wow, like I never thought of it that way, and thank you, you helped me feel better. I've heard some people say that to me, and most of the time, I'm not even trying to make them feel better. I'm just being myself. I'm just giving them my honest opinion, and they like it. And actually, after high school, I wanted to become a counselor. And so that's the same thing as speaking to people, but I wanted to be a counselor to teenage kids. And now I want to motivate people of all ages. I don't care what age you are. But when I was in high school, when I was in high school, I only wanted to motivate the kids in high school, just the kids who didn't have anybody to talk to while they were in school. Because when I was in high school, the staff barely cared about us. Like even my principal didn't even care about me. I would try to talk to him about a problem, about me being mistreated about a student, and he wouldn't even care less. My mom would come up to the school, and she would help me, try to fix a problem that I was having in school, whether it was with a teacher or a student. My mom was always there to help me. But when it came to me, me going to the principal or staff, they could care less. So I didn't like that. And at 18 years old, I saw that I don't think that's right. I don't think that a student should feel upset about not having staff, because when you're in school, those staff are like your parents, like your guardians. Since your parents are at work and you're in school, they're supposed to be not only teaching you, but looking out for you and making sure that you're safe. Like, their parents should be able to trust you with their students while they're at work doing what they got to do to provide for their family. And at my high school, I didn't feel like that. I felt like the teachers barely cared. And I went to a trade school, but I felt like the teachers barely cared about us. But I kind of lost hope for the staff until my counselor, his name is Mr. Usher, he came my senior year, and he was the one that inspired me to want to become a counselor, because he cared so much. I would come to him about something, and he would try to get down to the bottom of it. Or if I had like an interest in something, like I wanted to do modeling when I was 18, he did all he could to try to put me in stuff, and he put me in something in high school. It wasn't the best, but he tried, and that's what matters. And that's what I liked. I liked having a counselor who showed that they cared about me, while I'm in school. But I didn't pursue that career after high school. I tried to, but I sort of gave up. But it's okay. I'm still young. But now I know what I want to do now. I want to become a motivational speaker. I want to be on stage with thousands of people, maybe even billions of people, motivating them, because I honestly feel like I was given this voice I have to help people. And I also feel like my mindset has always been different since I was a child, which is why I barely had friends, which is why people didn't like me growing up, because I had such a different mindset of me. Like, the things that you see the teenage kids doing, I didn't do. Like, I didn't party. I didn't gossip. I did gossip with my friends, but I was never in drama. Like, and if I was in drama, I didn't start it. People would come to me with the drama, and I would help them finish it. But I've always been a non-dramatic person. I've always stayed to myself, and I've always had a different perspective on things, which is why people liked me, because my mindset was different than my mindset was different than the usual person that they're used to being around, and that's what made people gravitate to me, my uniqueness, my difference in opinion. And so yeah, I'm you're going to see me on your phone screen soon. I'm going to be a motivating speaker, because that's something that I do all the time. I'm always talking. I have a podcast called Jade Lucky Podcast, and it's on Spotify. And I just upload episodes whenever I think of an interesting topic that I know would help somebody. I just say, you know what, I'm going to record an episode and I'm going to put it on my podcast. But thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to listen to me. I really do appreciate it. And I will be uploading more videos on my YouTube. I really will, just to get my voice out there, because I have an interesting voice. I have an interesting message that needs to be told, and I'm ready to be that motivating leader. I really am. So please tune in for more, and thank you for taking the time out of your day for listening to Jade. That fake was, oh my god, that smile was so fake. But see you guys later.